At a secret location, 6 strangers sit at one table to enjoy a 3-course meal. Given topics and questions to discuss, there is no space at this table to be politically correct. Who will choke on their food or who will swallow their words? This is Don't Talk With Your Mouth Full. Hopefully, our dinner guests still have a lot of room for the main course. But first, let's find out the next topic.
My boyfriend was born a girl, but now we plan to start a family. Charlotte Yuri, 20, had no clue that buff Kieran Maloney had not always been a boy, and they are planning her pregnancy. Despite the shocking revelation, the couple are stronger than ever, and are now hoping to get married and start a family using Kieran's best friend as a sperm donor. Should it be the law for transgender to reveal their original sex to their partner?
Law.
I don't think it should be a law.
Not about a law.
No.
They should have choices as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
just
gonna
gonna
say
say
that.
If you change
Freedom
your
of
sex,
choice.
like if women became a man, you are the man. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. It's
But
not
she
so hard.
It should be like an ethical decision for that
Yeah.
person to come out, especially when it's getting serious.
Yeah, I think you should just say from the
Yeah.
get-go, if it's serious and you really
Wouldn't say
feel
from the
about this
get-go.
person, let them know who you are. So let them make a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give them the choice to say, well, this is okay, I can deal with it, or
Or I can't,
actually, no, I can't.
But there's a
You
lot
know
of
what I
creepy and nasty laws, red ones and stupidest, so they might put this as law.
Hesitate,
Yeah.
You see, you could say ethically and all that stuff, but like, if you think about it, people get married, a lot of lawyers get involved with that, and they have to pay for lawyers, they have to pay, and then once they find out that a person's been transgender, if that's not their liking, they would want to divorce the person, and that costs money. So, the law would be there to like, stop those issues from happening, because if you don't have that law, that's going to cause a lot of problems, I think.
Yeah, but if you want to break up with the person, it means you didn't love that person, so that's all.
In all due respect to the law as well.
I don't think it should be a law. I don't think it should be a
Yeah.
law. I think it should be an ethical decision, like I said, made by the individual to come out before it gets serious. So before engagement, before like you've even laid down with the person, that's when you should tell the person.
But what if the person doesn't?
Oh no.
And then that's
Which
the problem.
Which happened in that case, you know?
Exactly.
But she was okay with it.
Exactly.
But what happens when they're not?
Transgender violence which occur,
Yeah.
especially
They get-
during
Oh, yes,
romantic
of course.
situations. So.
Yeah.
So maybe the law isn't there to protect the other person; it's there to protect the transgender person.
I mean, how would you structure the law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a problem. It's just the wording of this question, the law aspect, which is really hard to justify. But let's devil's advocate. Why should there be a law? What can we think of?
To protect the person that
Whoever
is
it's happening to, yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no offence, but I mean, even if there was a law to that kind of make sure that the person has to reveal that at the start of their relationship or at any point. No offence, but there's a law against domestic violence. You still see that happening.
Right.
Yeah.
You still see that
Exactly.
happening.
But there are repercussions, though.
There's
See-
repercussions, but it still happens. And how effectively can you monitor and manage occurrences of domestic violence in a relationship? So the same way, how would you be able to monitor the accurate
I mean,
representation within a transgender relationship?
in my head, I'm thinking law as in if they get married, because that's the only way I think
Yeah.
it will become a problem. Because if
Yeah.
it's just girlfriend and boyfriend,
I agree with that.
that's nothing. That's ethically.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm
And take it a
picturing.
stage further.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm picturing that like they get to the point where they're signing the documents, and then there should be like a little checkbox saying, "Are you transgender?"
Yeah.
And is the person aware of
That's
this fact?
quite a way to
so
find
right.
out, though.
No,
a good
but
way.
like if you are actually in a loving relationship with someone, surely they'll tell you before. So what that question even being there shouldn't
No,
be a
that,
problem.
that surely bit. Then when does the point come where you should tell someone?
Before you go
Before you
to
get serious,
yeah.
I
Before
said
it even
that.
gets there.
Before you even like lay down with
So
the
the
person.
second date, the third date, before they lie together.
Before you.
How
before you lay down
about,
with
what's
the
your
person.
name? My name is
Yeah.
so-and-so. And guess what? I'm...
Straight away.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
but
should
it's
you
hard.
have to
that's-
say that?
No,
You
but it's
should.
hard because it's like telling a gay person you must. As soon as you figure out that you're gay, you must come out to the
Exactly.
world.
You don't
That's
have
hard.
to treat them
I
as
hear
different.
that, I
You don't
hear
have to
that.
treat them as different. So
Exactly. It's not just
So it's a complicated
different.
like
It's not
subject.
quite straightforward, though,
Yeah.
is it?
No,
Yeah.
it
Do you know
isn't.
what I mean?
It
There's so
isn't.
many aspects and sides to this. You know, when do you tell them? But
That's why I said-
yourself, morally, yourself, don't you feel right that
Morally,
you should
yeah.
tell the person to say it makes them feel comfortable, or you would make them feel uncomfortable? Give them the choice.
Give them the choice.
Don't you think? Give them the choice.
I just
it's
think it's
so
just
it's
bad.
quite serious.
Yeah.
But
Don't
it's-
let them find out. Give them the choice. This is who I am. I think also if you're quite strong in yourself, you know, you should be able to say that.
Yeah, but then a lot of
Okay, but
transgender,
that's
the-
transgender
the example
people
he
have
read
gone
out.
through a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand
life.
that. Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah. Might
stuff
find it
is-
really
yeah.
hard.
But I
people are
can
finding
think
with
of a
judgment.
reason
Yeah.
though, as to why there might be a law. Let's think about it for a second. The example he read out, it was about starting a family. Now, in a transgender relationship where one person is transgender, that will be harder to do. So perhaps if you tell them at the start of the
Even-
relationship, this
even-
could
even
cause
in
less
normal
emotional turmoil.
couples, sometimes they can't get pregnant as well.
Agreed.
So technically, it's the same thing for me. Just men and women who can't make a kid. That's all.
I got a problem with that as well. Like if you know you can't have children and you're entering a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
You just need to
Why
tell
would you-
that. Like, at least that.
It's the
So
same
women
situation.
would have high expectations
I think
of you,
sometimes, listen, I'm going to say the moral ground. You need to lay your cards on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go into that relationship. When that man or woman really wanted a child, yeah, and you're going through all this, you're married, and at the end you hit that, oh, I can't have kids.
Why?
Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's devastation. if
Because
they
for women
really
it's
want
everything.
Yeah, really. You know, all of them now wanted a kid, and you know you can't have one. You have, it's your duty. I think it's your duty, and you're right to say,
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is what's
what's going
happening
on.
to
You
me.
need to prepare
Yes.
the other
You need
person.
to
Can you
prepare.
deal with it? Yeah.
So
Depends
should
on
there
the
be a
ethical
law?
No, but on an ethical
Not the
perspective,
law, but
Not the
You
law
need to
for the
speak.
transgender. No, that's
No.
freedom of choice. No, there shouldn't be a law.
Okay,
because
then s-
ethically though, you can't. If I'm in a relationship with somebody and the person is transgender, like at what point did you think it was okay for you to deprive me of my own rights to know what's
That's a
going
lie
on with
already.
my own life?
Yeah.
So you've actually deprived me of a right. So you could have potentially changed the course of my life in whatever direction. However, you kept that away from me for your own benefits
Yeah.
and for your own gain.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
see that right there? That's a whole different ball game. I mean, it gets quite personal after that.
Yeah.
A relationship is based on
I'd like to-
honesty.
I'd like to add to that.
All of
The
these
government-
things, but
The government,
At
the
what point?
You're
lawmakers
already
shouldn't have
starting
a
the-
say. The lawmakers shouldn't have a say in something so personal, something akin to a relationship. If, however, there was some harm involved, to slightly digress, if
Okay.
it's, for example, if you know you have an STD, which is transferable,
okay.
then there should be a law, I would argue, that
Okay.
you should tell the other person if you plan on having sex with
that's a
them.
pretty valid point.
But in this case, who are you really hurting physically? There's no real physical harm, I would argue, but there is emotional turmoil.
No, yeah. That
But
is
who's to
deep.
say if
That is
what's
emotional.
more
harm.
important?
Yes.
because emotional turmoil
Yeah.
can be a lot worse than
Yeah,
physical.
absolutely.
Actually,
So should
You could be
people make
scarred for
laws on
life.
that? That's the
Yes.
issue we keep getting stuck on.
No, I don't. think-
Personally, I think yes, because not like
think there should be
the
a law?
boyfriend.
No.
I'm
Think there
thinking
should?
from the stage of
Are you thinking of it because if you was to be with a transgender woman, that would make you gay?
no. I'm not even like that. Personally, I'm just thinking if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be invested in you, like I need to know everything about
It
you.
wouldn't make you gay. I'm just saying. That's what people
I'm
think.
not even
No, you're just saying you just need to know everything about that.
Quite
person.
the conversation.
Exactly. And like,
Yeah.
16.
I don't know.
Okay, so how would you structure the law?
Firstly, I'll structure it from basis of are you gonna get married with them? That's where I'd start. I wouldn't start before that point, because before that point, there isn't anything that's gonna damage you financially or
Why
or, like,
marriage?
because that's the point where you get tax breaks. That's the legal point. That's why I see it
legal
as.
point,
That's
right.
the legal
What does
point
that have
in
to
a
do with being a
relationship.
transgender, though?
No, you're saying how would I structure the law in terms of them having to tell the person. That's how I'd structure it.
No,
The
but then
point-
there's always a reason, right? Why marriage? That's what I'm trying to get at. Why would you pick marriage? I get that there's tax breaks and marriage is a big deal.
No, because that's what I'm saying is because that's the legal
yeah.
point in the relationship. Before that point, there's no legal matters
see,
involved in
that's-
the relationship.
They're still
So,
considered
when
single,
you get
even if
married-
you're in
Yeah,
a 10-year
exactly.
relationship.
Doesn't
on a
matter.
form.
It doesn't matter.
Fair
When
enough.
you're
But,
married,
from that
that's
point,
that's
But then
legally
I feel
binding.
that's when you should be
Laws aren't
this is what's going on.
particularly there just to be technicalities in the place. And now that you're legally in a relationship, these things change. Of course, there will be things that change. But how will this practically impact society? So why should it become a law to start with?
Why should it become a
Yeah.
law to start with? Like I said earlier, it's to do with because if you get in a relationship and you get married, there's all financial, there's everything that's going to be involved, and then equity, everything.
Yeah.
So you figure out that this person's transgender and you don't like it. It's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. And then you want to break apart from that person. You're then going to go down a road of having to go down lawyers, paperwork, all this stuff, all this stress as well as you having to break up with the person that you fell in love with.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it there, just before you get in that relationship, just so that you both know where you both
You're on
stand.
the same page.
Before that, you can walk away from a relationship easy, if you're not legally bound to them. But once you're legally bound to them, there's other things that are involved
Okay,
as well.
so taking into account something like a prenup, something that's optional to do before marriage, why shouldn't it be like an optional checkbox that, okay, that's
Because you
that?
wouldn't be thinking that the person you're with is transgender. to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, you don't know, do you? You're
Like,
finding out
yeah.
later, aren't you? You're
I
finding
think-
out later on.
I think I might be falling into the trap of the technicalities of the law because of my background, but let's get back to the practicalities. Why should the state have any control over a personal relationship?
Again. We started again.
The state shouldn't have that
They're
kind
not
of
having control. The state isn't controlling anything. The state
Please
is just
give him
making
the
the
crown.
person aware of what's going on. It's not about the state trying to stop you from getting married or stop you from dating this transgender person. It's just them making you both aware that you're both entering this legal agreement and you both know
You both understand.
who you
I
are.
can
Yeah.
entirely
What you are.
see that
Yeah.
happening.
That's how I see it.
But there's a
To be
but
fair-
there. You've got the buts, haven't you?
Yeah.
My okay, so my issue is that I'm mostly on your side of the argument here, that I believe there should be a law, but then there's still that nagging feeling of a right to privacy. Transgender people, homosexual people, should not be treated like they're different. There are many other things that you don't have to list on the marriage form. For example, depression or bipolar disorder and other mental illnesses, for example. You don't have to talk about those things before you get married, and those could be much more damaging than being transgender. So if that isn't there, this is a very slippery slope to point at a transgender person and say you have to disclose this piece of information.
The thing is, with literature hasn't, or research hasn't really got into much about, unfortunately, at the moment, to do with transgender violence and all that can happen, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, it hasn't actually become a law yet. Not because it's not a physical harm thing. It hasn't come to people's
suicide
awareness
rates.
yet.
Suicide
hasn't
rates
come
are
to-
there.
But I mean,
They're
a lot of things within
extraordinary.
law hasn't
Transgender.
actually gone to that
Yeah.
level yet.
Yeah, that's true.
But because it's physical, that's a one whole ball game. But if it was mental and emotional, that emotional turmoil is more than anything else. Before just from finding out the person is transgender
Sure.
and you didn't even know, etc. Therefore, it wouldn't even go into law anytime soon, anyways, because they don't even care about mental health within law like that, anyways. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't even get to that point anytime soon. So I mean, we could think and talk about it all day long, but really and truly, it's not going to
It's
get
not
to
gonna
that
happen, I
point.
don't
Let
think.
me pose a hypothetical.
They're not going to care as much, yeah.
What if,
It's
for
sad.
example, your spouse has killed someone in the past and they've been either reprimanded or maybe
Yeah.
they weren't even convicted? Should
Yeah.
they disclose this information? Of course, they would have to be convicted if they're going to disclose it. Otherwise, serious
Well,
problems
They killed
there.
somebody. Have
Yeah.
They killed somebody?
Yeah.
So something like
Yes.
that. Should
No, I
that
don't
be
know,
there?
because at the
Yeah.
same time,
It's
at the same time, Kaz, you've got to remember, with there's that new law about if somebody is a paedophile or a contact offender,
You have to say
then,
it.
then you have to declare it. And if they live within your area, then you must know. Okay, for some reason, of course, there's a host of devastating effects that can come with that alone. But I mean, that's in the law.
Yeah.
I feel-
Whereas
We're going
that
down
is
the-
not going to be part of it yet.
We're going down the route of
There's
like
still a
trying
long
to compare
time left.
like,
Yeah,
paedophiles
yeah,
to
yeah,
transgender.
I know.
Yeah,
and
transgender people,
You're going off again. You're
Yeah.
veering off again.
But it's going to go to a
hypothetically, do you know what I mean?
completely
Let's just
different
get it
ball
back
game.
to
They
what we're
don't
talking
care
about.
about
I
it
think
enough,
we did then,
unfortunately.
right? What's the consensus? Should there be a law?
I don't think there should be.
I don't think
No, I
we're
don't
all
think
kind of
so.
saying
There should be
no.
common sense.
He's saying that there should be.
You, to a degree, though, aren't you?
At
To a
a
degree.
certain
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
At a certain level.
Like,
Like,
not-
Give us a
not-
percentage, like
entering-
34,
Yeah.
36.
Nah,
Wow.
I'm just scared for the person who's going to find out that the person that they thought they knew
As
isn't
am
the
I.
person they thought they knew. And once they're bound to them,
We're fighting, man.
it's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
We're
that's
fighting.
what happens.
Exactly.
No, we're
That's what
fighting.
usually
I
happens.
can't understand how I'm on this side. I'm usually
How do you feel if it happened to you?
Yeah.
You were in a relationship and it happened to you and you found out further down the line. How would you deal with it?
So
Would
let
you
me
be
let me
okay?
disclose a secret. My personal arguments and the arguments I'm presenting here
I'm really
are
a
vastly
woman.
different.
Yeah.
So
really a
I
woman.
personally want to know. I would personally ensure
It's
that
like,
there's a law
but
in place,
still,
but I'm trying to
think-
think as an objective fact. Should there be?
If
No, but I
your
asked you a
girlfriend
question.
will
I
tell
just asked
you,
you a
you
question.
Personally,
There
yes,
should be
I would
guy.
You'd be-
100% want to know.
would you
Well, there
like,
you go.
if
See,
you would be
you'd want
dating
to
girl
know.
or guy?
You don't know
like,
personally then. You need to know.
Yeah.
But then objectively, you have to
Someone's
think
gonna
like
review you,
above
like,
that. That's
their
my problem with
opposite sex or
statistics, right?
something.
Like I can see
You'll be
racism,
like,
I can see
I'm
sorts of
going
things.
away from you.
But if you look
I
at the
don't
objective
know.
facts, there's quite another story to
I don't
tell.
know.
But then there's the agenda
See,
argument.
you don't know.
What if the person
Well,
didn't tell
when
you? How
love
would you feel?
someone,
Would you be
action
angry? Would you
really
say,
Yeah.
oh,
heavy,
get rid
it's
of them, or
hard
would
for
you
to
work
walk
through it,
away.
or
You can't
is it
do
something you
It's a
just
case
wouldn't?
by case basis. I personally like to try things. I personally would like. I've never been in this situation before. I would
you-
like to test myself.
So
for
you
that.
wouldn't actually. Okay.
So for you,
You'd be
it's an
curious.
It would feel like a
experiment.
betrayal though, because why hasn't this person that's so close to me told me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would be like, this is an issue that's still fresh
Need
in
to work
people's
on.
mind. This is
Right.
not something that's easily talked
Just
about
okay.
in this day and age.
That's
Well,
fair
come on,
enough.
even in straight couples, how many people break up? Why? The first they go on a date, awkward date, when everyone says the most best
Yes.
things ever.
Yeah.
I'm such kind
So your
of
best-
king in the bed.
Yeah,
She'd
yeah.
be like, I know how to cook, I know how to clean. She don't know nothing, of course. And then
Yeah,
they start
get to
live
know them.
together, and they understand you're not like you were before.
Yeah.
He was like that from the beginning, or she was like that from the beginning. He just didn't know.
So are you saying that that's similar to
That's a
them
good point.
disclosing?
It's not about disclose.
Yeah.
It's more about like you need to like it's common sense. You need to tell everything, like not everything, but like at least part of information straight away. Not to tell all your pluses or hide something. Just say it. Then in the future you won't have such kind of issues.
But I
like
think surely as a transgender person, you would feel happier in yourself in like divulging that information. I think it's more torment for you as that person, not saying it. Imagine every single day you're going,
Like you can't tell someone your name.
yeah,
Like,
no,
think
yeah,
about
I
that.
can't
That
tell
is
you.
horrible.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So bloody hell.
But
And
for the
deal
sake-
with it, deal
for the
with
sake
it.
of fairness-
the longer you leave it, the harder it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but I have to bring it up. For the sake of fairness, let's go with the argument, not my personal argument, but the argument that transgender people could be treated as ones with mental illnesses. If we go down that side of the argument.
What
You're
you
going way
Wait,
off
wait.
topic.
I need
Where
to
did that come
understand.
If-
from?
no,
What's that
if-
got to do
Hold
with
on,
it?
hold on.
What's
Let
the-
me
Wait, I don't
finish.
understand.
Let- yeah,
Yeah.
let me finish
Please,
first.
yes,
Oh
I
my
don't-
God.
sorry.
I can't.
For the sake of full
I can't.
disclosure, I do not personally believe this, but if we go with that side of the argument, then there might be a law in place. Then there's a possibility to talk about. For example, if we talk about the suicide rates, would you want to be with a partner that has that high of a suicide chance? These are all very disgusting
That's-
but
circumstances
that
to
can
speak
be
oh
about.
yeah,
anybody.
in this case, like it's more like
But you
mental
should talk
thing.
about them, I think.
No,
just
about
to get
suicide
everything,
thing.
yeah.
When you're always thinking about like, I hate this life, or, like they're too sensitive.
But that has nothing to do with your sexuality or
Yeah,
your
it just
being trans.
those people are too
something else.
That's
sensitive.
something. That's something.
else.
That's
I'd
a
like
chemical
to
imbalance
hear
Yeah,
right
it.
there.
something else.
I'd like to hear it. Well, what do you mean that's something else?
What do you mean?
It's
It's
two
not,
different
that's,
things.
that's nothing to do with
To
your
do with trans,
sexuality.
Yeah.
It's a chemical imbalance in your head.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Are
However,
you
if
saying
we're-
that transgender people are a bit
mental.
a
No,
mental?
like-
no,
what
I'm
are you
not.
saying?
No,
now?
I'm
Be
not.
specific here now.
Okay, I'm going to be specific with facts. The World Health Organization and the DSM, the latest categories, both speak that it is not a mental illness. Again, that is my position on the matter. I do not think so. However, for the sake of fairness, I'm trying to talk about the ones that do. Whether they're scientifically wrong, whether there's differing medical opinions, I think we should talk about it. If we are to take the hypothetical that it is an illness, should there be a law?
But you answered your own question.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
How have I?
because earlier you said that you wouldn't put people with depression and you wouldn't make people with depression, people with mental illnesses
In the same.
in the same category when I was talking about how I want to put it. But now you're saying that if it was a mental illness,
Yeah.
Would you want?
Yeah.
would you want to put it on?
Where are you? Are
I've
you
made
here
my
or are you
stance-
there?
Are you up there?
I've made my stance clear. I would personally want to know, but in the law circumstance, I don't think it should be forced on because right to privacy. And
But how
let's
far
call
does
it
privacy go in terms of if you're affecting other people?
that. It depends on how you're harming them. And again, we're going back to the emotional turmoil, physical turmoil and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
See,
I'm
I'm not,
just gonna spin in one.
well, this is
Yeah.
quite the depressive argument.
Yes, it's going round and round in circles. Actually.
Yeah, because
But
like
I think we've mostly solved it. I just wanted to get that out of the way. And
Yeah.
about mental sickness, you said like there's high rates of like transgender, like jumping from the roof, like commit suicide, like different
But
kind of
that
things.
comes
But
from-
kids, different kind of different color.
how would
This
we
is
fix
like
that?
all the.
That's what I'm worried
yeah,
about. I
they're
want to
different
fix
and
that.
they
You
do
want to
different
fix
things.
it.
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
nobody speaks about
It's
them.
about
so
everyone
yeah,
has to just
like,
love one
Exactly.
another.
This
That's
is
it.
where.
Yeah.
Accept each other's differences.
That
and
goes
that's
back
it.
to the earlier question. Like interracial relationships don't just fix that. Transgender relationships don't just fix love. Like there
Well,
needs to
then
be
it
something.
comes down to education, media, and being taught at home.
Does then
That's what everything, because that's where fear is.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that
Yeah,
word?
because that's
built
I think
Yeah.
I
in
think
a
I speak for all of
human.
us. We want to fix that rate. So we should really be talking about how to fix it and how to link it. Whether the law should be a valid option to do it, and how far can the law take it? How far can the state take it?
No, because the law is biased anyway. Oh Lord Jesus Christ!
And there's the bell. Let's see what some of our dinner guests have to say.
Food for me was kind of nice, but a little bit spicy. I'm not used to it. But it was really, really awesome to try something new. I think transgenders, like, I don't even know how to say it right because, like, they got their own choice. I can't just go into someone's house and tell them what to do. Like, so, there's nothing too much to say. They should do it like every one of us. Not lie to your partner especially, because like you're gonna be with him or with her forever. And you'll be like, oh, sorry, I was a lady, or sorry, I was a guy, after 10 years of marriage. It's a little bit too harsh. So we should respect each other, first of all. My partner would tell me that. I don't think that I would like just stand up and walk away. Like if you love person, like it doesn't matter who the person was before. She doesn't kill anyone, so why should I like? I love the person, like on mental level, not on physical. So it means I'm gonna stay. I know that for lots of people it's like, why? Like, it's a scandal, big deal. It's not. It's actually not really a big deal. Like, if you change your sex, like if you were a woman and became a man, you are the man. The same as the opposite thing.
Yeah, the food was alright still. Like jollof rice, can't go wrong with that. The question about transgender people having to disclose their information was always going to be a tricky one. I mean, like, I knew there was going to be people that are going to be on one side and the other, especially people in the LGBT community. But like, that to me personally, if I was in that situation, it would vex me if like I found out that the person that I loved and the person that I wanted to start a relationship with wasn't who I thought they were. And for them to deceive me and enter like a legal like And marriage is like, it's like the final goal in it, and like you think you found the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and they're telling you that they're this, and I don't know, personally it would hurt me. So a law to stop people from being deceived, to me, doesn't seem like a bad thing. There was one person that I felt like was kept on getting ganged up on, obviously has. I mean, like, from early, obviously the earlier topic was a bit testy, but like, what he was trying to say, I think in his head was like, he was just trying to be devil's advocate. He was just trying to like, see it from different people's point of view, but I feel like the group didn't see it like that. They were just like thinking, oh, these are his views because he's had these views in the past. So they put him in a box from the start saying, he's right, he thinks this about race, so he must think this about the LGBTQ community. So like, I don't know, personally, I was just trying to let him speak so we can like have a proper debate in terms of like trying to figure out what he's trying to say or figure out where he's coming from.
It seems the main course was too hot to handle. Lots of spicy food and different opinions. What did you guys think about Christina's point on fertility status? Let's debate. Is it necessary to divulge whether you can have children to your partner before going further or not? Tweet us at DTWYMF Show.